Abundance. This is Divine Crochet and Knitting Essentials. Of 120 plus the 2, so 122. And the second loop from the chain, you're going to go in with a single crochet. So this is the first one, this is the second one. So you're just going to insert, pull up, make a single crochet, right? Then from there, you're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2, right? And you're going to place 5 double crochets into that stitch. And that is going to be your first shell stitch. So that's 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you got your single crochet, you got 5 shells, or five double crochets, which equal a shell. Okay, then from there you're going to skip 2 more stitches. So that would be, sorry, this yarn is really hard to see, but 1, 2. So in this third stitch, you're going to place a single crochet. Okay, skip 2 more stitches, so 1, 2, and that third one you're going to place 5 double crochets. Okay, right? And then you're just going to repeat that. Skip 2, so 1, 2, and this third one you're going to place a single crochet. Skip 2 stitches and go into the third with 5 double crochets. Okay. Once I get to the end of this row, I will be back. Okay, so I just finished my last double crochet. I'm gonna stretch it out so it looks like flat. So this is what your first row should look like. I'm going to skip my last 2 stitches, and honestly I think I counted wrong when I did my chain, which honestly it does not matter, because look right here I have 4, right? So technically I should be ending in this last stitch right here, which I'm going to, but I'm just gonna act like this extra stitch doesn't matter, and you're not gonna be able to tell the difference. But for this first row, you want to make sure that you're ending with a single crochet. So as long as you end with a single crochet and it's not more than 4, it's not going to look any different. Okay, from there you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to turn your work, and in this same stitch off of the chain that you just made, right? So you see how it has the chain, and then this stitch right here that goes off of the chain, right? That's where you're going to place 2 double crochets, right? Okay. From there, there's 1. Here's 2, okay? And that chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. From there, you're going to skip 2 stitches. So 1, 2, right? And in the middle of that shell stitch, you're going to place a single crochet. Then from there, you're just going to keep repeating the pattern. So you're going to skip 2 stitches. So skip these 2, right? And then you're going to double crochet. You're going to put 5 double crochets into the 3rd space, which is also that single crochet space from the previous round, row, whatever you want to call it. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Then from there, you're going to skip 2 more stitches, right? So 2 more, and then in that middle, so like either you can, I don't know what's easier for you to remember is either that you skip the 2, right? Or in that middle shell stitch, right? You're putting a single crochet. Skip 2 more stitches, right? So in this single crochet stitch right here, right? So I'm gonna skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. So in this 3rd stitch, that's where you're placing your shell stitch, which is gonna be the 5 double crochets. And then from there, you're just going to repeat that pattern all the way to the end. And when you get to the end, you're going to end it with the 3 double crochets. So I'm going to skip 2 more stitches, right? 1, 2. In this middle stitch, I'm going to place a single crochet. Then I'm going to skip 2 more stitches, and I'm going to place it in that 3rd stitch, right? With 5 more double crochets. So when I get to the end of this row, I will come back. Let me just finish this one stitch first. That is 4. Okay, 5. All right, we're at the end of this row, so we're going to be placing in here. Then we're going to place our single crochet in the middle of that shell stitch. And then from here, we're going to place 3 double crochets in this single crochet space from the row below to end our round. 1, 2, 3, right? So to start your next round, right, you're going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work, and then in that same stitch, so the stitch that goes off of the chain 1, right, which is this stitch right here, you're going to place a single crochet. Okay, and then you're going to skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and in this 3rd stitch right here, that is where you're going to place your shell stitch. So that's going to be 5 double crochets, right? 3, 4, 5, okay? Then from there, you're just going to keep doing the regular pattern. Skip 2, right? You're going to be placing your single crochet. Then you're going to skip 2 and place 5 double crochets. And you're just going to keep up with the pattern, and for this round you're going to end with a single crochet. So you're just going to keep alternating the two different rows. So but something that I would like to point out is that your single crochet is always going to go in that middle stitch of the shell, right? And then your double crochet stitch is always going to go, which sometimes, sorry, I realize I'm not in the camera. Sometimes it's going to be hard to see it, possibly depending on what type of yarn you're using, right? But your shell stitch is always going in this single crochet space. And so the row that you start with the chain 1 single crochet, you're always going to end with a single crochet. And then the stitch where you start with the chain 3 and then place 2 single crochet, or you place 2 double crochets into the same stitch, right? And that counts as 3 double crochets, right? You're always going to end with 3 double crochets. So if you need to, watch it back, and then from there you just are going to do it for however long you want your skirt to be. Once I'm done with this and I get my length, I will show you how to sew it up and add the waistband. Okay, say this was the proper length of the skirt that you had wanted to do, right? Now you need to sew it up on the side. You could either take your yarn off and reattach it to do this, or you can just, I'm gonna stick my thing back through right here, right? Right, and then I'm gonna go right here, and I'm just gonna slip knot. And then from there, you're just going to slip knot up the side. Right. Right, and you want to just make sure that you're going into the same like row on each side. That way it goes well. I'm just gonna keep doing that once I get to the top, because I don't know, it's pretty easy. Right? Cool. Right? Once I get to the top, I'm gonna keep it running. And you could also like sew it with a needle if you wanted to, but this is honestly like the easiest way to do it. So now you could once again cut off your yarn and reattach it if you want, or you can keep it attached, right? So that's going to sew it up, right? And then you got like a little seam, so you could either have that on the side of the skirt or like in the butt area. Cool, right? Now from there, to do that, so right, so this would be like your skirt. It would be long, right? Cool. Now from here, if you had wanted to, okay, there's 2 ways that you could go about this. You could either cut this off, right, and make a chain, right, and then feed the chain in through these different parts, right, and have it be a waistband, and it just be a tied thing like that. Or you could make an actual ribbed waistband, right? So you're going to chain up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Honestly, however long you want that top waistband to be, right? All right, so you got the chain of 11, right? So for this part, we're doing all back loops. So you're going to go into, you see how like this is like the back of the braid, and like the braid is kind of in the front, and these are like the back loops. We're going to go in these loops. So we're going to start by going in this like first one right here, and all right, so then, right, you're going to place single crochets going down this whole thing in each back loop. Okay, so now you're going to slip stitch into this part right here, right? And then this slip stitch basically counts as like your chain one to like turn your work, right? So, right, then from there, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to, so look, that's your chain one space right there, right? So now you're going to go in the back loops and single crochet up this thing, right? Cool. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So now, right, you're going to chain one to turn your work, right? And then you're just going to go back down this loop, or back down the chain, well, back down the single crochets with single crochets using all back loops, right? But look, stay with me for 2 seconds, and then that's basically all you need to know in order to make this. Okay, so look, right? Say you needed to make the waistband smaller because your waist is smaller than your hips, right? Hold on, let's do the last single crochet, which is this one right here, right? Okay, that's the last one, right? So now you're going back into right here, right? And I don't know if you can really see how it's like starting to make that like ribbed effect. But so like, say you needed to make it smaller, and this is something that you would have to figure out of how many that you would need to do for yourself. But look, you would slip stitch. So instead of just doing one slip stitch, you can do multiples. So say 1, 2, 3, and then say like 4, right? And then then you turn your work, right? So these stitches right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all your slip stitches, right? So your first stitch for the single crochet would go in into here. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me try focusing it better. Okay, so look, right? You try to, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, those are all slip stitches. So this one right here, this like stitch right here, would be your the one that you would go back up with single crochets. So Yeah, and that's how you would make your waistband smaller. But every time you go up from the skirt part, when you after you get to that last stitch, you have to chain one to turn your work. So I'll show you one more time, and then from there, that's all you need to know. If you need to run it back to see some more, go ahead and rewind and watch it back. But so like this is my last stitch right here. Then from here I'm gonna chain one, and then that would be me turning my work. And then I would just go back down with the back loops. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that one would need? Oh, the only other thing is when you get done and say you get all the way around and you get to this other side, you're just going to slip stitch the two together. So if you had that other panel, you just slip stitch it like that. But yeah, that's all you need for being able to do the shell skirt or whatever. So you see how it got that little ribbed effect? See? Yeah.